So before we get started, let's review a few terms that we're going to be using and talking about throughout the presentation. First of all, a sentence. What I mean by a sentence is it contains a subject and a verb, and it's a complete thought. So for example, Tom woke up late. The subject is Tom, and the verb is woke up, and it's a complete thought. We'll also talk about conjunctions. So conjunction is a word, or sometimes it's two words, used to connect things. So conjunctions connect words, clauses, or sentences. For example, if you want to join two sentences together, Tom woke up late, he missed the bus. You can use the conjunction so to join these two sentences together. Tom woke up late, comma, so he missed the bus. So is kind of like a bridge that's joining two sentences together. Conjunctions are really useful in writing because often we want to join two or more ideas together. So some examples of conjunctions you can use are this first group, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Some people remember these as fanboys, the acronym. An example would be Tom woke up late, comma, so he missed the bus. We're joining Tom woke up late and he missed the bus with the word so. We also have another group of conjunctions, including words like because, if, when, whenever, before, after, even though, although, and there are more examples, but these are some of the most common ones. And these are a little different because, as you can see from the examples below, you can actually use these in the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence. Whereas the fanboys, we only use those in the middle of the sentence. Let's look at examples with because. Because Tom woke up late, comma, he missed the bus. Or we could switch those. Tom missed the bus because he woke up late. Let's take a look at how conjunctions change the way we use commas. So notice which sentence uses a comma. Because Tom woke up late, comma, he missed the bus. Tom missed the bus because he woke up late. The first sentence starts with the conjunction, because Tom woke up late. So in that case, we use a comma. But in the second sentence, we are using the conjunction because in the middle of the sentence. And in that case, we don't use a comma. The same thing with these next sentences. If you wake up late, comma, you'll miss the bus. You'll miss the bus if you wake up late. So since the first sentence starts with the conjunction if, we need a comma in between those two sentences. Do you remember the fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so? If we're using these are always in the middle of the sentence. And we use a comma when we're joining these two sentences together with one of these fanboy conjunctions. Tom woke up late, comma, so he missed the bus. Burns are common, comma, but they can be avoided with the use of gloves. This laptop is expensive, comma, and it doesn't have the features I want. The assignment isn't due until Saturday, blank. We don't have to turn it in yet. Do we need a comma, period, or nothing? What do you think? The answer is we can put a period. So for this question, the answer would be B. The assignment isn't due until Saturday, period. We don't have to turn it in yet. And notice that we capitalize the W of we since we're starting a new sentence. But just so you know, another possibility would be to add a conjunction. So you notice one of the answer choices is A, adding a comma. This would only be correct if we also added a conjunction. The assignment isn't due until Saturday, comma, so we don't have to turn it in yet. Okay, let's try another one. What do you think we need for this sentence in the blank space? Do we need a comma, period, or nothing? What do you think? For this one, we would want a period, similar to the other example we saw. I was too tired to finish, period. I had to take a break. Since these are two separate sentences with two separate ideas, we would want correct punctuation, for example, a period between these. We wouldn't be able to put a comma unless we also added a conjunction. For example, I was too tired to finish, comma, so I had to take a break. What punctuation, if anything, do we need in the blank space? Going to the beach every Sunday, blank, was a family tradition. Do we need a comma, period, or nothing? What do you think? For this example, we actually don't need anything, so the answer is C, nothing. Going to the beach every Sunday was a family tradition. So here's where sometimes speaking and writing are a little bit different. For example, if I say, going to the beach every Sunday was a family tradition, there might be kind of a natural pause in your speaking between going to the beach every Sunday, and the phrase was a family tradition. However, in writing, grammatically, we actually don't need a pause or a comma there. So we don't put a comma between the subject and the verb. So notice that going to the beach every Sunday is the subject of our sentence. And to make this a little bit clearer, imagine that going to the beach every Sunday was replaced by the word it. So you can see that it would be the subject of the sentence representing going to the beach every Sunday. So if that's the case, we wouldn't put a comma after it, right? We wouldn't put a comma between the subject and the verb. So in the same way, we wouldn't put a comma between going to the beach every Sunday and the verb was. So let's talk about how to use apostrophes. We use apostrophes mainly in two ways. The first way is when we use an apostrophe with a noun to show possession, and possession means that something belongs to somebody or something. So for example, the dog's bone, the bone belongs to the dog. The man's car, the car of the man. Omar's notes, the school's policy. We also use apostrophes to join certain words together, and these are called contractions. For example, he's writing, he's. We use the apostrophe to show that we're kind of cutting out one of the letters. So he's represents he is, and it's called out. It's represents two words that are put together. It is. Be especially careful when you use it's. So notice which sentence uses an apostrophe. It's raining right now. The dog licked its paws. So why do we use an apostrophe with the first sentence and not the second sentence? Well, it's because if you remember, it's with an apostrophe represents two words. It is. So if you want to use the possessive, meaning belonging to it, we don't use the apostrophe. So it's without the apostrophe is a possessive similar to words like his or her or my, and we don't use apostrophes with any of those words. Here's a special note about plurals. Plural just means that there's more than one of something. Don't use an apostrophe with plurals. For example, we need 6 eggs. The first sentence is correct. There's no apostrophe. But the second sentence is not correct. Another example, your books are on the table. The first sentence does not use an apostrophe, and that's correct because plurals, meaning more than one, we don't want to add an apostrophe. So just to summarize some of the things we talked about, we mentioned that we don't join two sentences together without a period or a conjunction. So we don't want to just join two sentences together, for example, with a comma. We need something stronger. So you can add a period, you can add a conjunction. There are other possibilities, but to keep it simple, we could just say that we would need either a period or a conjunction. And to review, some of our conjunctions included the fanboys, and we use these in the middle of sentences to join two sentences together. And we would use a comma before the conjunction. We also have conjunctions like because, if, when, etc. And we use these either in the middle to join two sentences, and we use no comma in that case. Or we can start the sentence with these conjunctions, and in that case, we do use a comma between the two sentences. We talked about apostrophes and how we use an apostrophe with a noun to show possession. For example, the man's car, it's the car belonging to the man. And making a special note about its, right? So its means belonging to something, but its with an apostrophe represents two words, it is. And finally, we mentioned that we don't want to use an apostrophe with plurals. So two books does not use an apostrophe. All right, everyone, I hope this was useful. Thank you for watching. Good luck with your writing. And as usual, feel free to reach out at any time if you have any questions.